Good afternoon, all the students. I think you are learning all these lessons in your home. You are in quarantine, but you are taking the advantage of the time. So we hope that it is a great help for you. So last time I taught you about the theory of separation of power, which is one of the important subject matter of the organs of government. Now you know that in organs, the government has three organs: legislature, executive, and judiciary. So before that, another teacher, Miss Roma, she has already taught you about the executive. So today I will teach you legislature. So legislature, executive, and judiciary, these are the three organs of the government, and these three organs combine to form the government, and they perform the duty. Today we will see legislature. So what is legislature? Before that, I just want to tell you that in the society, in the country, the life and activities of the people are to be guided. If there is certain things, if anything is to be done, then there must be a system. And for the system, there must be rules and regulations. And the rules and regulations must be made. So there must be somebody, there must be some person to frame, to make that law. So last time also I told you legislature is that organ of the government which makes the law, which passes the law, or which enacts the law. Now legislature is that organ of the government which makes the law, which passes the law. Now what you find here in there, why the laws are passed? Why there is a necessity of the passing of the law? Because the government has to implement certain policies in order to guide the life and activities of the people. In order to help in the development of the country, there must be certain laws, and these laws are passed by the legislature. And you know who are the legislature, who are the members of the legislature. There is election, and in the election, the people, they send their representative, they elect their representative, and the representative, they form the government, they form the parliament, they form the legislature. And the members who are elected, as they form the legislature, so same body passes the law. So legislature, in very simple word, in very simple sentence, we can say legislature is that organ of the government which passes the law, which makes the law. Now, structure, that is the meaning of a structure of medicine. In order to run the government, laws are to be passed, and for that purpose, in the different countries of the world, you will find different systems. Broadly, the legislature has two structures. Number one is called unicameral legislature, and number two is bicameral legislature. If we see the different countries of the world, we find this type of structure, this type of legislature in the different countries of the world. First is unicameral legislature. Unicameral legislature is that legislature in which there is only one house. There is only one house in the legislature. That is called uni. Uni means one, and cameral means house or the legislature. So the legislature having one house is called unicameral legislature. I'll just give example. In Spain and in Finland, and even in Burma also, there is a Myanmar, you will find the unicameral legislature. And the bicameral here, bi means two. Bi means two cameral house. So legislature having two houses is called bicameral legislature. So the best example of the bicameral legislature, USA, UK, and India. So these are the examples. In USA, UK, in India, the parliament or the legislature has two houses, upper house and lower house, and there are different names. I just want to tell you, in USA, the upper house is called the Senate and the lower house is called House of Representatives. It has a number of names, different names, and the parliament of USA is called Congress. The parliament of USA is called Congress. Legislature of USA is called Congress. Congress here in India means it is a political party, but in USA Congress means the parliament. So parliament has two houses, upper house, Senate, and the House of Representatives combined to form the bicameral legislature of America, USA. Similarly, in UK you will find two houses, number one House of Lords and number two is House of Commons. House of Lords, upper house, and the House of Commons, lower house. So here also in UK also you will find two houses, House of Lords and House of Commons, and this forms the Parliament of UK. And in India you will find Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha is also called the Council of State. I am writing insert here, Council of State, and it is also called upper house. So Indian upper house, it is called Rajya Sabha, Council of State and upper house. Now lower house, it is called House of the People and Lok Sabha. Sometimes there one marks question may be asked from this group. You just have to mention the name of the upper house of UK. Suppose the question is upper house of UK, then your answer should be the House of Lords. Similarly, sometimes this type of question may be asked also. What is the name of the lower house of the Indian Parliament? You can say the House of the People. So here what we see, the three countries, they have bicameral legislature. Okay, now we see the functions. Functions. Before this, in the first class, I taught you that the theory of separation of power is applied. So three categories of ministers are there, and they form the Council of Ministers. Now the Parliament of India, the second function of the legislature, as for example taken from India, it is the formation of the cabinet, formation of the government. And within 6 months, if somebody is not the member of parliament, it happens without being the member of parliament. Sometimes a person may be appointed as the minister, but he or she has to take the membership of the parliament within 6 months. I will just give one example. When Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated, he was the prime minister, and the Congress party was in power. So Congress party had to replace him, and Mr. P.B. Narasimha Rao, I late P.B. Narasimha Rao, he was appointed as the Prime Minister of India, but at that time he was not the member of parliament. He was not the member of parliament, he was the president of the Congress Working Committee, and he later contested the election from one constituency of Andhra Pradesh. The name of the constituency was Kudappa, and he was elected, and he was able to continue the prime ministership. So this happens. That means first there must be members of parliament, then only he or she may be appointed the minister, that is he or she can be the member of Council of Ministers. So in this way we can say the legislature also forms the government or the Council of Ministers. Same in UK also, same thing. Now, third function of the legislature is control over ministry, or we can say government. In the parliament, in the legislature, you will find the representative of the people. And in a democratic country, the government is to run the country according to the will, according to the opinion of the people. That means public opinion should be taken into consideration while running the government, while forming the government. So, what we say, the government, that is the council of minister, those who are in power like prime minister and his council of minister, they are responsible to the legislature in all their affairs, in all their activities. I will just give one here. Suppose this is parliament, and from amongst the members of parliament, certain members are taken and they form the council of minister. And this is responsible to this. Whatever they do, other times we find that ministers are very, very powerful person, can do anything. But in actual practice, it is not so. Whatever they do, they are responsible to the parliament. There are a number of methods by which the legislature can control the government, control this executive or the council of minister. Number one is budget is there. Number two is no confidence motion is there. And these are the things, these are the methods by which the parliament controls the executive, controls the government. I just want to give one explanation of this no confidence motion. Suppose the members of parliament, they feel that the government is not running the country according to the opinion of the people, according to the constitution of the country, then in the parliament, the members of parliament, they may pass a resolution. They may pass a resolution. The resolution is called the no confidence motion. If the no confidence motion is passed in the parliament, then there will be all the ministers, they will be removed. That means the government will fall. The President of India may dissolve the Lok Sabha, or sometimes the President of India can also give chances to other person to form the government. But generally what you find, if the no confidence motion is passed, there may be the failure of the government. So this is how the legislature control the government. There is another process also. All the ministers, whatever they do, education minister, human resource development, like human resource development minister, finance minister, defense, all the ministers, whatever they do, whatever policy they follow, whatever activities, whatever action they take, for all these, they are responsible to the parliament. In the form of what we say, there is one method that is called question hour. Question hour is a very important time given to the members of parliament. You know, parliament sits for the session, and daily before the beginning of the parliamentary session, 1 hour time is allotted for the question hour, and in that time the members of parliament may ask the ministers question. As for example, suppose why the education system is not good, the human resource development minister can be asked this type of question. What is the relation between India and other countries like Pakistan, like America, like Russia? No. So the question may be asked to the foreign minister. No. So all the ministers, they should be able to answer their question satisfactorily. If the satisfactory answer cannot be given, then there may be the removal of the minister. There may be failure of the government also. So in this way, the government is controlled by the legislature. Next we say financial control, financial power. We can say financial power. You know, government spends the money. Government has to spend a huge amount of money. And you know, the money is collected by the government. You know, a lot of things are there, things are there by which the government can collect the money in the form of tax. So different types of taxes are there. Even your parents also pay a certain amount of taxes. Suppose your parents are working in the different offices, schools, they have to pay income tax. And suppose some are doing business, therefore their occupation is business, then they can also have to pay a certain amount of money in the form of this commercial tax, etc., etc. No? And all these are taken by the government. And this is one of the important sources of income for the government. So government collects the money from the people in the form of tax, and there are other sources also. Now, the collected money is to be spent for the people. Now, in the parliament, how much money is to be spent by the government, say for defense department, say for foreign affairs department. All these first are to be discussed in the parliament, and if it is passed, then only the government can utilize the money. You know, every year in the form of February, March, you will find passing a budget and financial bill. Financial bills, budgets are placed in the parliament, discussion takes place, and only after the discussion, if the parliament say yes, then only the bill are passed. It is said that even the government cannot spend even single rupee without the consent of the people. People's representatives are there in the parliament, and they have to say yes, okay government, Mr. Narendra Modi ji, Mr. Rajnaran Singh, you can spend this amount of money. If the member of parliament say yes, then only the budget can be passed, the financial bill can be passed, and the money can be utilized. So this comes under the financial power. Here also what you find, the legislature has also certain financial power. Next we find some elective functions also. The legislature also performs certain elective functions. I will give example from India. You know, at the top, at the head of the executive, there is president, and vice president is also there. President and vice president, they are elected by an electoral college which is composed of members of parliament and the members of legislative assembly. In the election of the president of India, the electoral college for the election of the president of India, the members are both the houses of parliament, members of Lok Sabha and members of Rajya Sabha, plus the member of legislative assembly of all the Indian states. They form the electoral college and elect the president of India. Similarly, in order to elect the vice president of India, there is also separate electoral college consisted of members of parliament, both the houses of members of parliament. So here what we find, the member of parliament, that is the legislature, also has certain elective functions. अब अझै इन्डियामा भन्नुभयो भने when the parliament is formed in the first session of the parliament, one speaker and deputy speakers are also elected. That also elected by the legislature. So the legislature has also other functions, has also elective functions. Now another appointment function. I'll give example from USA. In the United States of America, the president appoints the high officials. President is the executive head, okay, but the appointment of the high officials by the President of America is not complete without the approval of the Senate, upper house of the American Parliament. That means American Parliament has also certain rights in the appointment of the officials. So, legislature also has certain functions that is related with the. Okay, now next is the judicial functions of the Parliament. The President of India is the executive head. Sometimes if the President of India is not running the country, is not performing his, sometimes her also duty sincerely or according to the constitution of the country, then he or she may be removed. And that removal proposal can be brought by the members of Parliament. Members of Parliament can bring the proposal. That is called, the process is called impeachment. The President of India can be impeached. There in USA also the same thing, same process is also followed in the USA. Now judicial function. American president sometimes also can be impeached by the US legislature. So that comes under the judicial functions. Now next function is amendment. Amendment function. The first function of the Parliament was to pass the law, to make the law. And here what we find, number 8. Laws are there, but sometimes it happens that the law passed by the legislature may be not good or not according to the need, and it is to be changed. That means suppose in the law passed by the Indian Parliament in the year 1951, in the year 1952, same laws are not applicable today. So these laws are to be changed, and to bring the changes in the law is called amendment, and this amendment can be done by the Parliament, by the legislature. In India, if you take the example from India, we find a number of amendment bills or amendment acts. Jस्तो अब तिमीहरूले थाहा हुन्छ, in the initial stage, the Constitution of India only 7 fundamental rights were there. Now we have only 6 fundamental rights. The right to property was taken away. That means the Constitution was amended. त्यसै प्रकारले fundamental duties some new fundamental duties are added, and in this way what we find, a number of changes were brought, and these can be done by the legislature. That comes under the amendment functions. Next function of the Parliament is the formation of committee and commissions. Parliament is a legislature, is a very big body, and there you will find the people of different categories. Some are educated, some are experts, some are experienced, some are ordinary people, but they are the members of Parliament. Now, in order to pass the law, in order to have the law-making function, the government also needs some expert. So, for that purpose, in the Parliament, what we say, some committees are formed. The Parliament forms the committee, like Estimate Committee, like Public Account Committee, like Defense Committee, and in all the committees, the members of the Parliament are there. So, legislature also form the different committees for the passing of the law as well as for the administration. Now, along with the committees, you will find commissions also. Commissions are formed when? When certain things happens. As for example, in order to study the relation between union government and the state government. Sometimes what we find, there is a tension between the central government and the state government. What are the laws which are to be passed by the state legislature? What are the laws are to be passed by the central? And what should be the relation between the two, or even among the different states also? For that purpose, once the government is appointed, this parliament is appointed Sarkariya Commission. So, Sarkariya Commission was responsible for study of the relation between central and the state, and even among the states also, and finally submitted the report. So, formation of the commission in order to study the relation between central government and state government or among the state. त्यस्तै प्रकारले, you know, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, when he was the Prime Minister, he was assassinated. There in Chennai, he was assassinated. And in order to find out the fact, the Parliament has appointed a commission that is called Burma Commission. And that Burma Commission has submitted the report after finding the fact, after visiting the places there in Chennai, and submitted the report. So, in this way, what we see, a number of commissions are like Jain commissions are there, Sarkari commissions are there. Even in USA also, a number of commissions were formed by this legislature. So, formation of committee. Now, after the formation of the committee, the commission, they have to complete their work of investigation, work of study, and finally these are the reports are to be submitted before the House, before the legislature. In the legislature, the reports are submitted, and it is the responsibility of the legislature to check or to approve or to see the report, and on the basis of that, the certain steps are to be taken for the making of the law, or for any changes, or for any improvement, or for any things. So, next function, this is the formation of committees and commission. Now, next we see the Parliament is also, the legislature has to see the growth of political consciousness. Growth of political consciousness. How the growth of political consciousness? Another function is the growth of political function. Political consciousness means to be conscious in the political field. That means what the present government is doing. If there is any wrong, if there is any mistake, if there is any shortcoming, then what should be the new step? For that purpose, the people should be more conscious. Now, how the Parliament, how the legislature help in the growth of political consciousness means when the Parliament is in session and the discussion within the Parliament, these are information is given to the people through media, through press, through TV, a number of methods are there, media, with the help of the media, these things are made open to the public. That means the public, they are able to know. If the Parliament session is there in Delhi, New Delhi, even in our own place, in our own home, with the help of the television, we can see that what's going on there in the Indian Parliament. And first we get the information, and the opinions are formed. No, government is doing this. No, the government should not do this. Government has to do that. And the people became conscious. We have to do this, do this, we have to do that. I'll just give one example. Suppose there is any discussion, or any member of the Parliament, they raise the voice of Gorkhaland, in the Parliament. Now all the people there, they see, they express their interest. He said like that, he said this, it should be, it is very good. Now the people get information and they become more conscious, and they also see that these things should be done. So in this way, the legislature help the people to grow in the political consciousness, and with the help of this political consciousness, government also has to bring changes, government has also do something, and that is for the benefit of the people. The legislature also act as a media. Of public opinion. Okay. Public opinion, opinion of the people, what the general people want, not as individual, but generally as a whole, what is the need of the people. Now this is also, the legislature also is an agency or is a platform where the people, they may express their opinion. As I have told you, in the parliament, discussion takes place. The members of parliament, they may also ask the question. And while asking the question, and even the minister, while answering the questions, what is their opinion? These are propagated through the media, and the people, they are able to form the opinion. What is going on inside the government, that is brought to the people by the media, and the people get the opportunity to form their opinion. As for example, suppose something is to be done for the development of the education. Now, when the discussion takes place there in parliament or even in the legislature also, then the people also came to know that the government is trying to do this, and the need is this, and we have to do that. This type of opinion. And as these ideas are spread, then the people, they may form the opinion. That means without knowing anything, it is not possible to form the opinion. And it is in the parliament, questioning and answering, discussion takes place, and in order to help the government, in order to protest the government, the people may express their opinion. So these are the various functions of the legislature. Legislature say यी कामहरु गरिरहेको हुन्छ. So in the present time, legislature is not confined to the lawmaking function, but has to perform a lot of other functions. अब यसमा एउटा लेजिस्लेचर को एउटा अलिकति हामीले क्रिटिकली पढ्दाखेरि हामी के पाउँछौं, लेजिस्लेचर एउटा we have to see the limitation also. Limitation मा हामी पाउँछौं, there are certain limitation in the of the legislature. Number one, हामी के देख्छौं यहाँनिर, nowadays in the legislature all the members are not expert. All the members are not intelligent. So sometimes we feel that it is the meeting place of a different people. So what we find, because of these type of things, sometimes the legislature cannot perform its duty. That in the limitation that we can see. हामीले भन्छौं कोही बेला यति ठुलो यति माने मेम्बर्सहरु त्यहाँनिर सबै एक्सपर्ट हुँदैन त्यसमा, हैन, आफ्नो प्रकारको हुन्छ. सबैले जस्तो एज फर एक्जाम्पल कोही बेला एउटा टिचरले, इट इज नट पोसिबल फर वान टिचर टु नो एभ्रिथिङ. सर्टेन त्यहाँनिर सर्टकमिङ चाहिँ त्यहाँनिर हुन्छ. त्यस्तै मेम्बर अफ पार्लियामेन्ट त्यही हुन्छ. सो द्याट इज नम्बर वान लिमिटेसन. अनि नम्बर टू चाहिँ हामी लिमिटेसन के पाउँछौं, nowadays legislature, because of the party system, the status of the legislature has been declining. What we see, the executive has becoming more powerful. We can compare between this is just for example only. Suppose one person is there, he is only member of parliament, and suppose another person is there, he is minister. From the ordinary viewpoint, what we say, ministers are more powerful. Even these common people also say, he is more powerful. That means MP, legislature, and the minister is executive. So executive is gaining. If we see the different countries of the world, then we find that the executive is becoming more powerful. So the rising in power of the executive means the declining of the legislature. And these are the limitations. And last point is decline. अब हामी देख्छौं, though the legislature is very important organ of the government, on which a great responsibility of the making of the law is there, and according to the law, administration of the country is carried on. But gradually, because of the system, because of this party system, because of a number of other things, gradually there is the decline of the legislature. Okay, this much. Now I want to give one question to you. Question is, define legislature, discuss the functions of modern legislature. 2 plus 6, 8 marks. So this is your second homework. Number 1 is define legislature. First you have to explain, you have to define legislature. Then after that you have to write and explain the functions of the modern legislature, and the marks is 2 plus 6. And here you have to know, you have to learn that how to write the answer of this 6 and 2 plus 6, 8 marks, that you have to practice. Okay, this much for today. Bye.